Welcome back to Liz and Liz Get Literary. My name is Liz.
And I am also Liz.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We have had a couple of weeks of author fun, and before that, we were spiraling. So we're back and back to normal,
Back to yapping.
back to yapping.
Back to a regular old yap.
Yes.
So, Liz and I thought it would be so fun for us to do a Q1 wrap up, go through the books we've read so far this year, ones we love, maybe a top 10 contender or two, some ones we didn't love, maybe some upcoming releases we're excited about.
Yeah.
There's a lot to yap about.
We just wanted to tell you the books we've read. So if you needed some inspiration, we could give it to you.
It's true. Before we get in to the old Q1, what are you reading right now?
I'm currently diving into Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. That is our Sunbound Book Club book of the month that we're reading. And I'm super excited. I got it in my book of the month box, but if I love it as much as I think I will, I'm gonna come get a pretty sprayed edge one, I think.
I love Book of the Month. I adore being a Book of the Month member. Sometimes I do have FOMO of exclusive editions. And I know we have had this conversation a million times, a million different ways about a million different books.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, like, 4 or 5 covers can exist of the same book and you just, like, have to miss out is kind of shitty.
I mean, though the book that I really think that they did us dirty on was Babylonia by Costanza Casati, because those edges,
Insane.
insane. So that so far has been the only book that I've been like, okay, I'm gonna go get it. Now, Our Infinite Fates might be
The
another.
cover's the same, so that's
Yep.
good.
Yes.
However, the bookstore one has like a little bit of a foiled moment going on, and then they have the foiled edges. And one thing about me, I love a straight edge. I could take it, I could leave it sometimes, but a foiled edge, I will not sleep. I will not rest until I have the foiled edge if I like that book.
Is A Fake Tainted Blood? Yeah, and that one's the prettiest one on my
It's
bookshelf.
like the perfect blue.
Yes.
And the second one is going to be the perfect burnt orangey red.
Yes.
I cannot wait. I'm ready.
Yes.
So you're reading Our Infinite Fates.
Yes, and I'm about to start Wild Eyes.
It's great.
I have to tell you, like, I don't know why all of a sudden all of our book club books seem to be like I have to get them done in the first half. So I'm like toggling. So like I just finished Hunger Games because we're doing like a small little intimate book club. And so now I'm like, okay, I need to get Our Infinite Fates. I need to get Kingdom of Claw. I need to get this and this and this in order to get them all in. And I'm like, but I have all month. Like, I need to
Yeah.
relax.
You have been on your like book club immediately
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
I have not been. I used to be, and now I've kind of swapped.
You really have.
I'll be like, oh, a book club's in 4 days. I'm a fast reader, but it's actually working out.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I read our BRBT book last week. I read it like 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, you did. So you're ahead of the game.
So yeah, so I don't know. It's been going well.
I mean, they're all books I want to read anyway, but
Right.
like I just picked up the
It's
newest.
so beautiful.
And it's just, I really want to dive into this series and get it read. And so now I'm like, okay, if I can get at least 2 more book club books out of the way, I'm going to read. You know what I mean? So if you don't know what this is The Twisted Throne by Danielle Jensen. It is part of the Bridge Kingdom books. This is book 5. She got all new covers.
They're so pretty.
Even if I don't like the series, I have to have these covers. So
those covers are everything to me.
Yes.
It's one of the many, many, many perks of being a Sunbound Books podcast is every time we come record, we can just buy books.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have really exciting news.
We do.
We do. Sunbound Books, the website, is live.
It's live.
Everyone.
Yes.
And because you love Liz and Liz Get Literary and you love Sunbound Books, if you shop our discount code, Liz and Liz Get Literary, you can now have Sunbound Books shipped right to your door or pick it up here. You'll get 10% off of your orders.
Yes. So that is so exciting. And we are so proud of Liz, who owns it. She is
Liz is talented.
Liz. She's just doing amazing things. So Congratulations, Liz, and happy website launch. So, what are you
Oh
reading?
my gosh.
So now they can now go and buy it from the
Yes.
website.
Well, first of all, she has a few more of these at least here, so
I
you
didn't
should
buy the only
definitely,
one.
yeah, you should definitely pick this up. I'm picking this up as well. I own the first three. I missed four, and now I'm at five. She's been releasing them so fast because these are just basically like revamps
Mm-hmm.
of a series that's already done.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, so I can't wait to get to those. I am currently reading Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen.
How is it?
It's a dark, gothic, spooky time.
Am I going to be okay?
Mm-mm.
We picked for mystery thriller some scarier books, and someone from the book club actually called me out and said, "You know, you're not good about this. Why?" And I'm
But
like,
give the people the books that they want,
"That's
which is
exactly what I
scary.
said." I'm like, "Unfortunately, we've got some spooky friends, so
It's true. It's going very well though. I like to be scared. I like especially gothic horror. I'm like a huge, huge T. Kingfisher fan, and this is giving me those vibes.
yeah."
So I'm having a really great time with that. So
And the book is so pretty.
it's so beautiful. It has like blood sprayed edges, like blood dripping down the sides. It's beautiful. I'm fairly certain that this is a debut novel. And it just came out a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah,
Blood
we
on Her
actually
Tongue
picked it on
release
release
day,
day.
which we didn't even know.
Nope.
So what a sleigh. So I'm reading that currently, and I also am starting the Wayward Pines series by Blake Crouch. I've heard nothing but good things, and it has been confirmed that it was not a Mandela effect. It was a show, and I watched the first season, and I did not think in a million years that that was the same thing. I don't know why, but this is that book series, and that show was absolutely wild. Big Lost energy, big Twin Peaks energy. Our girl Rosie Piper loves this series and loves Blake Crouch, so I am ready to give it a go.
One of my other book of the month books was Dark Matter.
True.
So maybe we both will be doing a Blake Crouch
Yeah,
this next quarter.
we're getting in our Blake Crouch bag.
Yes, we are. We are.
So
Yes.
that has been our current reads.
Mm-hmm.
We That's a very long segment every week because Liz and I have no chill, and we're reading at least two books at all times, sometimes three, and sometimes four.
We're very
So
good about that. Like I know people who can only read one book at a time, and so far I've been doing okay. Sometimes I do get to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to slow down and just focus on this one book.
yeah,
Like when we do a reread of When the Moon Hatched, that will be my only book I'm reading at that point. But for the
for good
most
reason.
part, yeah, I'm able to kind of jump. And we're redoing a reread of The Hunger Games. I'm not well. I'm not well. Haymitch's story.
Yeah, speaking of quarter one, let's get
Yeah,
into it.
let's dive in.
Let's dive into it because Sunrise on the Reaping changed our lives. So, my number five is kind of cheating. Sorry, but my number five of Q1 is the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Because not only was Before I Let Go just the most beautiful, gut wrenching, ridiculous romance, she really just carries it through the whole
Mhm.
series. Like, This Could Be Us and Can't Get Enough changed romance for me. So, we always talk about our top five,
Mhm.
like Emily Henry, Vicky Borson, Julie Soto,
Kennedy Ryan.
Kennedy Ryan for romance.
Mhm.
Kennedy Ryan is in my top five now,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure. I would agree with that. She's in, yeah, she will be an auto buy for me for the rest of my life,
For
for
me
sure.
as well. If you've been sleeping on Kennedy Ryan, you need to wake up.
You do.
So that's my number five. What's your number five?
Mine is James by Percival Everett.
Excellent choice.
I actively still think of that book, which is crazy because I hated Huckleberry Finn, but I think that's the reason.
Probably. Well, first of all, you probably hated it because it was racist and you were
Mhm.
being forced to read a stereotype.
I have to tell you what I was told.
Tell me.
So there's this whole concept going around of banned books.
Oh, yep.
I have to tell you this. I heard about a teacher who was having a class read a book, and I don't know what book it was. They did not tell me. And a parent complained. So guess what she switched the book out for? Fahrenheit 451. What a sleigh, right? What a sleigh.
This is someone I know.
No, it was someone telling me the story of
Oh, oh,
them.
oh.
their
That's
experience, but I
wild.
cackled. I said, that is the level of see you next Tuesday I want to be for the rest of my life.
Truly. If you find out who that teacher was, send me their Amazon
I
wish
will.
list
I will. I was
because
like,
I will fund their classroom.
I said that made me think of that because I would hope that if that happened in my kids' class, that maybe they would switch it out with James. Like, I think that book needs to be read in class, but
James was iconic.
it just was so powerful and it was in not a lot of words, you know, but so many words. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like he didn't need to write a 900-page book for the power to hit me. And that is the sign of not only an amazing writer, but an amazing storyteller.
It was an amazing book.
Yeah. And so that was my number 5.
Amazing.
What was your number 4?
My number 4 was, which is, sounds crazy to say because even as I'm about to say this, I feel like it should be much higher. Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I finished my journey in the first trilogy of the Realm of the Elderlings, so I did finish out the Farseer trilogy. One day, when Liz reads them, we will do a series on the Realm of the Elderlings because it needs to be up there with Tolkien. It is up there with Tolkien. If you were to ask moi, it is phenomenal writing. If you have been like seeing it online and you're intimidated by the fact that there's 18 of them, I'm telling you that it's worth it. I will be spacing it out so far that I may not be finishing the series until 2028, and that's okay.
That's,
That's fine
I mean,
because
hey,
I'm enjoying every page.
you are. I mean, you have not stopped talking about it
No,
since you got
no.
it.
I
So,
had a 6 hour book club with just one of our friends who
yeah.
finished it. I can't wait for you to read them. Your
I
life will
I have
change.
the first one. I need to start it.
So that was my number 4.
Mine was Deep End by Allie Hazelwood, which it has come with under some heavy criticism. People either liked it or they didn't. I ate it
I
up.
feel like they loved it or they thought it was the worst book ever written,
Yeah, like there was really not a lot of
which
in
is
between.
crazy to me.
Yeah, so I love that book. I will be rereading that
It's
book.
easily my favorite Allie Hazelwood,
Yes,
without a shadow of a doubt.
without a shadow. Okay, number 3. I think our number 3 is the same.
It is. Should we
So,
say it at the same
yeah,
time?
okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Sunrise
Sunrise on
on
the
the Reaping.
Reaping. Did not want my Hunger Games obsession to be reignited. I just finished 1 today. I want to jump into number 2.
I know.
I want to write a love story for Haymitch. Like I'm so obsessed with him. His story is so okay. Here's what happened, and it's our fault. It's our fault. We simped, and I am talking to myself so hard over Snow. We could fix him. He's the Draco we always wanted.
I see where he's coming from. He was forced. He was bred that way. He didn't know any better
This is our official apology to Suzanne Collins.
for thirsting after Coriolanus.
You have officially put baby in the corner. We are so sorry. We will not do it again.
Never.
Hey, Mitch did
After
not.
this book, never.
Nothing, never.
Never.
I do not care that that man looked so morally gray with his ash blonde hair
The soot on his face.
and when he strolled, and I don't care.
Uh-uh.
Nope, nope. You're right. So
No, because Sunrise on the Reaping is the most diabolical book that has ever been written. I think I sent it to you a long time ago when she announced this book, but I found a Facebook post of mine from 2011 where I said, I want Haymitch to have his own book. I think he has like a backstory.
well, and in book 1, they're like, how did Haymitch win its games? Win his
Literally,
games?
I highlighted all through my reread of The Hunger Games last week all the times that they like alluded to Haymitch's past or Haymitch lore. Literally at 6%, Haymitch is drunk, falling off the stage, and Katniss is like, "How did he win a Hunger Games?" And I'm like, "You don't even know. You don't know."
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers just yet, but I will give spoilers once it's been out for a while. There's
We'll do a whole episode.
Yeah, there's one part that's actually kind of small in the grand scheme, but that I've been thinking about since I finished reading it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it tells you anything, it was so good that Liz and I cleared our reading schedule just to reread The Hunger Games, and we both reread it in a day.
Yeah, I just finished like she'd be like, "Hey, what's up? Can you FaceTime?" And I was like,
And as you should, as in typical fashion, Liz was like in the middle of something like really, really, really important. And I was like, I think I'm gonna start the Hunger Games. And then she was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, I'm done.
"Yeah, because I can't have like here's the thing. It's like Liz will be like, I'm gonna go save orphans and I cannot be left out. So I'm like, I too.
But it works out.
It worked out. It was,
It
well,
always
because
works
it
out.
was a quicker read. No,
Yeah.
no shade, but like these books are not like
They're, I
one
mean,
that
they're young
took me
adult.
10 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot how good they were.
So,
As an
so
adult
good.
reading them, I was not annoyed by any aspect at all.
This
So
was at least my fourth time rereading Hunger Games, and it hit the hardest.
it's because you have now more depth. Even the depth from Snow's story adds so much. Like one of the things that came out of Sunrise and the Reaping for me is actually the level of genius Snow is.
In the most
Diabolical,
diabolical,
evil genius type way.
terrible way.
Yeah, like he is so evil, but he is so smart that it's actually insane. It is insane that they end up taking him down, truly.
Yeah.
That's what I got from this.
I have so many things
I have
to
so many.
say.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, number two. What was your number two?
Our numbers one and two are flip flopped.
Yes.
So you'll be hearing about the next,
We can
no,
just talk about it both.
you'll be hearing about these books for the next 10 minutes, the same
10
ones.
years, maybe.
However long we last, we'll be talking about them. So I would say my number two is Rose in Chains by Julie Soto, which, if you don't know, is the traditionally published version of The Auction, which was originally a Hermione fanfic.
Hmm.
When I found out that Julie Soto was Love's Big Hit 8, I broke the sound barrier. Do you remember when we found out
Yeah.
that it was her when she admitted
You
it?
broke my eardrum.
Well, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It changed me. It changed me. That I was so scared. I was maybe way more scared for Rose in Chains than I even was for the Manacled Alchemized of it all because the auction is so special to me. Rose in Chains blew every expectation that I had out of the water.
It was my number one book of this quarter. I finished it a couple days ago. I want to actively go back and read it. I cannot stop thinking about it. I was so nervous to have a story that was supposed to be set in the world of Harry Potter pulled from it and made into something different. But she truly did such a good job. And because I could picture the characters, because they came from that universe, it made it even better.
It was phenomenal.
It was her writing. I couldn't put it down. I was taking my book with me everywhere. My kids were concerned, and I was like, I I literally looked at my husband at one point and I just said, I just read one of the best books I'm going to read this year. And he was like,
If
it's
not
April.
ever.
If
If
not
not
ever.
ever. And that's what I used to say about the auction. Literally, while you were talking, my eyes almost started watering because I love her.
It was just and so if you have any qualms about maybe reading a book that's been adapted from a Hermione fanfic or
Hmm.
any sort of fanfic, it can be done well.
And additionally, if you don't read fanfic, if you're not into Hermione, if you don't ship Hermione, if you don't like Harry Potter, you can still read this and it will be a romantasy, heavy, heavy on the fantasy that blows your mind.
The fantasy world was I ugh, I cannot wait for you all to read this. I cannot wait for it to come out. This book will be top 10.
The lore is crazy.
The lore is
The
crazy.
lore is crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. I didn't even care anymore that her name was Brioni.
Nope.
And I talked about
Or
that
that
for
his name
months.
was Tobin.
Tovin is less egregious to me. Brioni sounds like a stinky cheese.
I was thinking bread.
A stinky cheese
Brioche
bread.
is broche.
I was thinking
Brioche.
brie,
Oh,
the cheese. So Brioni is just brie bread.
there you go.
But not anymore.
Not
I
anymore.
could name my child Brioni now. That's how good this book
And
was.
and she doesn't go by the stupid nickname of Brie. Sorry, any Brees that we know, and it's not to you,
I
but
hate you all.
I can't handle Brees. Your number one book, my number two book, also by one of our favorite authors, Rachel Gillig, was The Night and the Moth. The thing that I finished the book and I said to Liz, how does she come up with such a unique storyline, magic system, and even plot? Like as a romantasy writer and as a romantasy reader, I mean, I feel like we see a lot of the same plots over and over again, but Rachel really does make it her own. You guys, ugly cried. multiple times.
I forgot how to talk.
And her writing is so gothic gorgeous. That's my new coin. Gothic gorgeous.
Period.
Because you're like, I want to go with my coven to this place and be dressed in jewels.
Yeah, I want to dip my head in the fountain of this like cavern water.
I want
Like,
to wash my hair in rose water. I don't even like the smell of rose.
I want to wear a shroud.
I want to wear a shroud. I want to have a cloak that snaps in the wind.
I want to be a diviner. I want a pet gargoyle.
I want to tell the future.
True.
I want to
I
be
want
drowned.
a hot, soft boy knight that wears
And
eyeliner.
earrings.
And his name is Rory.
Did he look like Adam Driver too?
No.
Okay.
And even if he did, I wouldn't tell you.
I know.
So.
He, girl, girl.
But you know what? He didn't look like Henry Cavill, so we can have both of our people be separate.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't picturing him as Henry.
Well, I hope
kind of
not.
moved away from him. It's like
My job here is done.
like who do I picture?
I was picturing like Sebastian Stan. Like
But
Bucky,
younger.
like younger Bucky, scruffier with the eyeliner.
Yes, like Once Upon a Time,
Yes,
Mad Hatter,
yes,
Bucky.
yes.
Sebastian Stan is on my hear me out.
No one's hearing you out, girl. We're all
What is
joining
what
you.
is it? Hall Pass. If he did that Bucky walk as Rory
In the in the armor.
where he just sachets down that car, and you're like, shoot me.
My show is on.
I want to watch it when I get home now.
Here's the thing. The Shepherd King duology, yes, it had romance.
Right.
To me, this is just me. And don't forget, those were my number one books of 2024. So I'm not saying this as a qualm, but those books did not have what I would consider tension, like hot. Like I never was like, ooh, like fawning over Elm or Raven. Like they sounded beautiful and perfect and broken, and I loved them. But Rory and Sybil,
I had some dreams. I had some dreams.
I needed divining.
Yes, and the big thing that Rachel does is she makes her side characters so important.
And huge. Huge. Every single character in this book was so important. We will not be spoiling anything, okay? But there's a band of knights. There's a sentient gargoyle. There are 6 diviners. There are like townsfolk. There's clergy members. Like so many characters, and they are so intentional.
And they make such an impact.
I was sobbing.
I was not well.
I think I texted you and I was like, well, I'm 7% into the Night in the Moth. I'm crying. So it's going well. And then I was listening to the prophecy randomly, remember, like last month. And I just kept sending Liz screenshots of lyrics from the prophecy, which we have heard 95 million times.
It's one of our top 10 of songs of all time.
Right. But I'm like, okay, but think about this line in chapter 27 when Sybil.
You know what song may not have made a ton of sense, but that I thought of was Guilty as Sin for Rose and
Yes.
James.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say it.
And you want to know what song has hit me for Sunrise on the Reaping?
Oh, no.
It's your fault. Cold as You.
No.
I know.
Because why is that Lenore Dove like real cold as you?
Not Lenore.
And why is it additionally that okay, I know you don't listen to Noah Khan, but there was one specific TikTok edit of Hamish, and I'll send you the song and you'll listen to it on your way home.
Okay.
I promise. Called The View Between Villages. And when I tell you, my husband was on the couch next to me playing, I don't know, probably Minecraft. So I finish Sunrise on the Reaping at 1 a.m., which is wild for me on a work night.
Yeah, it was.
And I immediately go to TikTok and I search Sunrise on the Reaping edits because I want to hurt. I'm already sobbing. Bailey's book is crinkled from me because we were on a book buying ban, so I couldn't even own it, okay? And I'm sobbing. I have ruined a page of her book. My cats are staring at me like, what the are you dying? Is it time to eat your remains?
She posted in our group Geneva, and I just so you know, so she's having this meant to be. I'm in dreamland. I wake up at 5 a.m. and it says 4 hours ago.
I shared a story. I was like, bitch, I made a collage of hey bitch and like a stained glass window. I was not well,
She
okay?
was not.
And I'm still not well. I'm
No.
about to cry right now.
I have like I want to write so much fan fiction now, like it's like it reignited like that love for me. But I digress. Night in the Moth, Rose and Chains, also like an addiction. Like
Yeah.
now I'm like the problem is we read these really, really great books and then we have to wait. And I tell people I'm like waiting is the best part, and it truly is, but I am like to the point now where we read so many books I have to reread them, and I'm not mad about it by any means, but I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
just want to
Every
go.
time we need a refresher course, we just hurt.
We just hurt.
And I don't know why. I don't know why. Honestly, now that we're sitting here, which is exactly what I knew was going to happen, now my top three are jumbled. They're like, it's almost like one, two, and three are
I
first
think
place.
I think I'm gonna keep Rose and Chains, but I think Sunrise might have been number two
Is
because
that
of
a, hold on. Is that a recency bias?
probably.
Because
I
we
can't
read
stop
Night in the
thinking
Moth
about it.
2 months ago
Yeah, and what will probably happen is I'll reread Night in the Moth,
when it
and then
comes
I'll
out.
but what that's the whole fun. That's the fun
That's
about
the best part
part
of
is
reading.
it's so subjective. Like I mean, now I will say, like when I was done with Road of Bones and Kingdom of Claw, those have still consistently stayed in
Yes,
my tops,
yes,
and I have a feeling Rose and Chains, Sunrise, and the Reaping will be too.
agreed.
And what's interesting is with my, I don't know if anybody follows my Goodreads, but I also reread my sci-fi dystopian YA, and
You
I gave
did?
it 5 stars purely because of how it made me feel.
Yeah,
Was it the best written book? Probably not,
no.
but like again, these Hunger Games are bringing back like not joy because there's no joy in
Everyone
reading
dies.
them, but it's like this is how I felt when I read them the first time. That joy of like finding a new book that you're like obsessed with and you love, and that's what I chase every time I open a new book.
Yeah,
And this is like
yeah.
it's feeding me that it's feeding
Mm-hmm.
me that.
Mm-hmm. Well, all at the same time in 2011, we are reading. Well, I'm reading. I'll just speak for myself. I know you for half of these, but I don't know if you're reading the others. All at the same time, my junior year of high school, 2011, I'm reading Hunger Games, New Moon, probably. At 2011 was either New Moon or Eclipse. I Am Number Four, and Divergent had its second book come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how I got started being an avid reader, getting into fantasy, getting into dystopian fantasy. And for Suzanne Collins to come back out of retirement
And
with the
break
most insane,
us.
because here's the thing, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was iconic,
Yes.
but it is a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that we would have to sit and rewrite canon.
Right.
But when we read Stars on the Reaping, we had to sit and rewrite canon, and we had to sit with our thoughts and sit with our previous decisions about some of these people.
Yeah, because like I
Plutarch,
here's
Effie, Hamish, and
yes.
all the other Easter eggs that I will not be getting into yet. Insane.
Like I shipped Hamish and Effie. I do not ship them anymore.
No, absolutely not.
I was reading, well, first of all, the fact that she could come out of retirement and do what she did is she will go in down in history.
I think there's going to be another one.
Who do you think it's gonna be about?
Plutarch. I think we're going to get inside the Capitol book.
I would love that.
And because you know what I was thinking about too, the districts 1 and 2, that is quiet rebellion. What they do is also rebellion, and we don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
We do
Where
not
they
talk
train
about
their
that.
people.
They train their people so that their young people never die,
Yep.
and they get old enough to sacrifice themselves or make sure we're not sacrificing ourselves for the better of their districts, because just because they have money doesn't mean they're going to take this lying down, and they have the resources to train people. So that's a rebellion in itself.
Well, and one of the things that in reading Hunger Games today, that clocked for me was when Katniss and Rue are really sitting down and talking, and Rue's talking about her district. Katniss kind of says, "Wow, like really like in their neglect of my district, I almost have it easier
Yeah.
than these districts that do give more."
Yes.
So
And that's what got me thinking
yeah,
about districts 1, 2, 3. They are fucking laser
is
eyed
3 a
on
career?
them.
Because they don't
Yeah.
talk about career. Because
3 is a career. 1 to 5,
okay,
right? Is a
they just
set. Is technically career.
I because the way that I was reading it was 1, 2, 4,
Yeah.
and then 3 and 5 were kind of outlier
But they
careers.
were, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but not newcomers.
No, like I I agree with you.
And
They learned how to play the game.
and that made me cry even harder thinking about just thinking about different class systems and like everyone that isn't number one struggles in so many different ways.
Well, I mean, when you think about Kato and the way he begged at the end, because they still go into the same arena knowing there's a chance they could not make it.
And even Wyrus, Mags, Finnick, Annie, like all these people who are not 12, 11, 10,
Right.
they are having to sort through their own quiet rebellions. But meanwhile, Snow is hiding behind 1 and 2. He is hiding
Hmm.
behind 1 and 2 and making sure everyone views complete lies
Oh yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
And so when I pieced together that them training themselves was rebellion, I was not well,
You're
girl.
not wrong, and I'm gonna marinate on that because you're not wrong.
And I want to see a book about Plutarch, and because he didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a spy.
And it was a long game because we
It's
don't see Plutarch as the game or the head game maker until Catching
catching fire,
Fire. Yeah.
catching fire.
So he had to go through years, years and years and years.
And his family, who knows how long, they've been like, here's the real tea, kids. Like,
Hmm.
who knows?
And one thing Sunrise shows you is how many people are involved in the rebellion, truly. And it's just like a whole circle of like how many people are involved, which means how many people Snow has to keep in line, which how many people it's so
And
intricate.
how many people he has to have eyes on.
Yeah.
And so you think about like the Mutts and the Peacekeepers and all of that. I could go on. This was supposed to be a Q1. So
We're like Sunrise on the
we're
reaping.
gonna have to title this like quarter 1 wrap up / Hunger Games Yap.
Slash
Because
Dear Suzanne.
yeah, because it's nuts.
Because she accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. I do think she got pissed about all of us simping on Snow and said,
And also
slay
Trump.
less. Yeah, probably.
She said, some of y'all voted for President Snow, okay, in 2024, and you need to know. Okay?
And we know.
And also some of you simped for Coriolanus. You're also in jail.
Yeah. All of you to jail.
We're sending all of you to either horny jail or politics jail. One way or the other, your ass is locked up, and I'm
To
here.
clarify, we're both horny
We're in
jail.
horny jail.
So
Only.
only. And this is my formal apology. Dear Hamish, I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry.
Do you
And
remember?
we'll talk more. I think the other problem is Rose and Chains and
Night them off.
were arcs to us, so we can't go into depth on
Yeah, we're
them.
not allowed.
Just know that once we can, we will.
There will be a Night in the Moth episode.
There
I'm
will
dead.
be a Rose and Chains
Oh
episode.
my god. There will be probably 4 of those. And also, that's going to be a trilogy. So we have a Night in the Moth duology.
Hmm.
We have a Rose and Chains trilogy.
Hmm.
And I believe we're going to either get a Heavensby book.
I thought we might get a Finnick book.
I won't be able to sit through that.
A Finnick
But I said the
or
same thing about Hamish.
Joanne. Any of the she could write about any of
Oh my
them.
god, Joanna book
A Joanna book.
would be insane. I
Or
want a Plutarch book though,
what
because I
about
want a Rebellion Insider.
what about the president of 13
Yeah, a coin book.
coin book?
A District 13 book would be crazy. I really want an Inside the Capitol Rebellion book.
Yeah, which would be Plutarch
Yeah, and or a Capital
or
or
Seneca
District 1
Crane.
and 2 and yeah, all that. Oh my god. Reading about Cinna again made me want to vomit. Anyways, we cannot go on because we're gonna have a Sunrise on the Reaping episode. Maybe we'll put that out in May. Then the
Wh-
people will have had 2 months to go
I
over
think we
it.
should just do another Hunger Games episode with our new information.
Yeah, I think we should have a Sunrise on the Reaping episode, but we'll go over the whole.
What we know so far. This is a shorter little yap episode just because but let's before we go, what were your least favorite books of the quarter?
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Here's
Okay.
the thing.
Hmm.
I have 3.
Okay.
And I am not saying that these are terrible books. You know how I feel already about one of them. But I'm not saying these are bad books. I'm not saying they're terrible books. I am simply saying that out of the incredible, like 57 books I've read so far, these are my least favorites.
Okay.
Nothing terrible was done. They're just not for me. Onyx Storm, not for me. Goodbye. I'm done with the Empyrean series. It's been a nice time. I'm wishing Rebecca all of the success.
Okay.
I didn't love the Alice Network
Okay.
by Kate Quinn because I like historical fiction in a very specific way, and I just need it to be done well. And this was very dragged out for me.
Hmm.
And in a way where she was trying too hard to make it seem like this tale for the ages type of deal, but it didn't come off that way.
Okay.
That was just for me.
Fair.
And then one thing I will say, I didn't not like this book. I was just let down by this book, and that would be Caught Up by Navessa Allen,
Hmm.
which is the sequel to Lights Out. It was very horny and spicy. I had a very fun time reading this book. The plot left the chat. Okay, the plot left the chat at about 12%.
Yeah. So Caught Up is on mine.
Yeah.
But
But the confessional scene,
I mean,
I needed to confess. So I will say lots of great things. If you're looking for a horny, spicy, fun time, please. She delivers the same level of spice and the same level of care in the spice
correct.
that she did in Lights Out. So it was still fun. I was just let down because I think Josh's character in book one was so over dynamic, so well rounded, so wildly, I thought, well done for that
Hmm.
type of a character.
Yes.
That I was not really into it with Nico.
I wasn't really into it with Junior, no.
No,
No.
especially because his name is Junior.
Yeah, that might have been it.
I only call him Nico because I won't do the Junior.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping because we got an arc that it'll just be better when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
Mine was I really only had the two. Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling.
Thank you so much for sparing me. I was waiting for Liz to read it because the reviews are everywhere.
What I think happened is in the editing process, too much got cut out.
Yeah. Well, we saw on Bookmarked podcast
Hmm.
that they found out that over 300 pages was cut
You can tell.
from when it was self-pubbed to when it was trad-pubbed, and they wish that they would have read the self-pubbed because all of the things that made the book not make sense are because their parts were cut out.
Yeah, it like the way I described the book is there were stepping stones to every like major plot thing, and normally you would have then little stones leading you. It was just boom, boom, boom. Like
Because they
you're
took too
supposed
much
to have been
out.
in hiding, so and then it immediately cuts to a giant parade where you're supposed to be the chosen one, and it was just like that makes no sense.
You're trying to literally steal a dragon.
Multiple five dragons, and then on top of that, the morally gray, and you suddenly just trust him after you were just holding a dagger to his throat.
And on day two, you're like in love, right?
Correct. And so it was, and I think I said this to you, is there's stuff missing.
Yeah.
And then we found out why from, that. And so I literally, that was my only DNF of the year.
Oh, yeah, I did do a DNF. I forgot.
Which one?
Yep. We were so privileged to receive an arc of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget. I don't remember her last name, but it is the traditional publishing of Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ideal of Falling in Love, which is my least favorite of the widely popular Hermione fanfictions. However, I still ate it up. And so I was still very much looking forward to Irresistible Urge. And I think it will be for some people. I got to 27% or something,
I think you
26%,
made it to 30.
something like that. And it simply was not for me.
And that's fine.
And she wrote it well. It has nothing to do with her skills or her abilities.
It just wasn't for you. Did you liked the fanfic you said?
She's a great writer. I think that is a case of when
They needed to be the characters that they were originally.
that needed to be Hermione and Draco, and I could not. Like with Tovin and Brioni, I was fully buying what Julia Soto was selling. I wasn't even thinking about the auction at some
Me
points,
either.
and that's what I wanted from Irresistible Urge, and I didn't get it. It felt like someone trying to cross out Draco and write, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it just didn't work without Hogwarts.
yeah, that's fair.
And that's okay. People that don't love Mortifying Ideal are going to eat it up, I think, because she's a great writer. And you should eat it up. You should still try it. Don't let me deter you. It wasn't for me.
That's fair.
So,
So I think that was our quarter one. Um,
insane quarter one.
insane. With that being said, if you guys are not following us on social media, we are at Listen Let's Get Literary on all platforms, and we will be seeing you soon.
Bye.